Oh hey! Don't mind me over here, just evolving. Okay. So one of the most fundamental questions that we have as humans that also scientists have been asking for decades is, how did we get here? One of the most popular potential answers that has been a hot topic filled with misinformation is evolution. So today we're going to look at a number of these facts and see just how true they really are. In this video, I'm going to take the 7 most commonly believed myths that you likely still believe about evolution and explain the truth behind them. Today we're looking into the science of evolution and the lies that have been told that you might think are legitimate. This is 7 myths you still believe about evolution. Evolution is only a theory. The meaning of the word theory is really what's in question here. Within the scientific community, it has a different meaning than outside of it. A scientific theory provides a comprehensive interpretation for a range of phenomena. However, when it comes to evolution, there's enough proof for experts to consider it a credible explanation for humanity existing how we are today. In fact, the vast majority of scientists accept evolution and refer to fields such as embryology, paleontology, and molecular biology as research for backing its existence. Can you hear that? Can you hear that crackling? That's the sound of the fire from the flame wars in the comments section. Let's continue. Humans evolved from monkeys. You've likely heard it before, the theory that we evolved into what we are today from monkeys. Well, that idea, as it turns out, wasn't even a concept pitched by evolutionists. With the exception of accusations from anti-evolution sources, there is no claim that human beings actually evolved from little monkeys. Now, while we do share a common ancestor with them, that ancestor lived about 50 million years ago. Additionally, we share an ancestor with apes, and though that species lived closer to this time, it was still well over 5 million years ago. But that's just what the scientific community says. I'm telling you, my Uncle Earl, when he gets drinking, especially around the holidays, man, I'm telling you, he can fling feces like a monkey. There's no way he's not from monkeys. Humans are not currently evolving. What if I told you that only 2,000 years ago, human beings could not handle ingesting milk after the age of 5? Well, believe it or not, it's true. See, back then, after 5 years old, the body used to severely slow the production of lactase, an enzyme that allows us to digest dairy products. But one day, somebody, mutated into having a gene that allowed us to drink milk for the rest of our lives. And then that person procreated, and that person procreated with more, and now here we are. You see, we are still, and likely forever will, be biologically evolving. That lactase gene passed down, and now there are literally billions of people who consume dairy products every day. The ability to eat cheese, evolution at its finest. Evolution is not testable. This is yet another myth the anti-evolution movement uses to try to disprove the idea, claiming that evolution is simply made up and therefore cannot be tested. But the truth is, in a laboratory setting, evolution can be studied with controlled experiments. One such experiment involves testing antibiotic resistance, studying organisms with lifespans that are incredibly short. These tests have shown that after being exposed to antibiotics, certain subpopulations of microorganisms can evolve into superbugs, gaining the ability to actually survive the antibiotics. I just realized the anti-evolution movement sounds like a group of supervillains. We've got to take down evolution, man! There are no intermediate fossil forms. I'll explain this one. This myth asks the following question: if evolution occurs, why has there never been a fossil found of a species that existed between the two forms? Evolutionists claim that this question or myth is an outright lie, and further claim that the people who spread this lie know full well that such fossils have in fact been found. In fact, recent discoveries have been found that show that dinosaurs had hair and feathers, supporting the theory that they are an ancestor of common-day birds. Additionally, intermediate fossils between fish and amphibians have been found, as well as therapsids, which are the intermediates between reptiles and mammals. Morality disproves evolution. Yet another falsehood that has been spread by the anti-evolution movement is the idea that morality itself cannot exist through evolution. This one's fairly easy to disprove. In fact, the counter is that scientists have revealed studies that show that it would not even be possible for a primate species to survive without some some sort of basic sense of morality. Having morals is basically knowing the difference between right and wrong. Even animals have been proven to have this sense, so the thought that primates didn't have it before eventually evolving into modern human beings is pretty ridiculous. Simply put, without morality, nothing would internally govern selfishness, lying, adultery, stealing, and of course, murder. That's why we aren't going around killing each other trying to steal each other's land. People still argue it, but if you look at evolution, human beings are fundamentally good. Nobody's ever witnessed evolution. If anything, the scientific community has already largely disproved this myth with the previous explanations that I just said, but I have saved this last one because it's a big argument on the side of anti-evolutionists. See, people tend to believe only what they want to see, and if they want to combat the opposition of their theories, they often challenge the physical evidence of the opposition. When it comes to evolution, it is a historical science. It has been confirmed by fact and is based on many independent pieces of evidence. Geology, paleontology, botany, zoology, comparative anatomy, molecular biology, and genetics are all fields of science that allow us to see the history of continuing patterns of evolution. All of these fields of science bring home the conclusion that you'd have to disprove science in order to disprove evolution. Something some people are actually still trying to do, but it is what it is. Whether you're an evolutionist or an anti-evolutionist, take a moment from the flame wars in the comments section to subscribe to my channel so that you can catch my next video. I upload every Tuesday and Saturday. Also, don't forget to add me to Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram because I love interacting with you guys off of YouTube just as much as on YouTube. Try not to spend hours and hours arguing in the comments section, but if you do, make sure that it's at least respectful and intelligent for the love of God, and I will see you guys next time with a brand new video. Peace. I evolved from a crab.